Welcome back to another race recap video. This week, the GTour takes on the Fisher's Crit. Let's take a look at the course. It is an 800-meter loop with 2 turns. 2 of the turns are just sweepers, and there's only 2 90-degree turns on this course. There's a gentle rise up to the line, and then the backside of the course is just downhill into a turn. Nothing super interesting, probably the world's least technical crit. So here we go, underway. We are racing 55 minutes plus 5 laps. And Rick immediately rolls off the front. And we had 17 on the start line tonight. So here you can see we just took the first 90-degree turn. And now this little bend into the downhill, which will lead us into the second turn on the course. And I'm sitting on the front here because I did not get any practice laps in, and I wanted to get this first speedy turn, not getting accordioned too bad in the back. So here you can see Rick's got about 5 seconds or so. We've got a strict yellow line rule in effect, so making sure we enter and exit the turns in our lane. And here's the second sweeper, and this was into a bit of a headwind here, and just a couple of percent, but this is enough to really sap the legs. Not going super hard here, and everyone behind me is looking pretty comfortable. So that's the lap, and 1 lap in, we got Dylan, master of the attack science, doing his thing. Oh, and Jeremy doing his thing too. So we've got Rick off the front, 2 guys in chase, and now a couple of trash birds and Ryan Fletcher looking to get up the road. So things are starting to speed up here a bit on lap 2, and I'm shuffled to about mid-pack of this kind of second group here. I definitely don't want to slide any farther back because spending energy out of the bottom turn here will hurt. So you can see we're almost to the bottom. It's a very short lap. And as we set up for it, we've got a couple guys taking a very, very, very wide line that lets them carry a lot more speed and gaps me off here. And now I'm doing 800 watts to try to close the gap. And that hurt quite a bit, but just about get back on into the headwind here. And I know if I let that happen to me again, I'm gonna be in big trouble. So you can see a group has peeled themselves off the front, about 6 riders strong, and now we're left with about 11 in this second group. And it's right here that I'm letting myself get filtered right to the back, which is exactly what I didn't want to do. I have a whole list of excuses later. But here you can see finishing up a lap again. Guys crossing the yellow line to make passes. No big deal. And now that I'm last wheel in the worst position I could put myself in, I'm sure to get gapped off here and have to put in a huge effort. Let's see how bad it goes. Yep, 900 watts just to try to close the gap to Matt here. And I'm in a world of hurt. And there's not much longer I can keep making that kind of effort and still have any hope of hanging on. And sure enough, just 2 laps later, here I am coming out of the fast turn. Too much of a gap to close, and just 5 minutes into this race, I'm dropped, which is by far the worst race I've ever had. I was super grumpy about it. Just 2 weeks before this, I had a really good result at Mendon, and now a super terrible result here, and it had me questioning all sorts of things like, which one is real? Which one's not real? Am I actually super bad at bikes? That would stink. So, despite feeling super bad for myself, I soldiered on for a while, and then these 3 guys came blasting by me. Super strong break. We got Jeremy, Corey, and Ryan Fletcher there. and you cannot see the field behind them. They have pulled out a huge gap. And it took 2 more laps before the field caught me here as they come steamrolling by, and I had decided to put myself out of my misery. Lapped in 17 minutes, which is super bad. So I threw myself a pity party by taking a lap on the Parish North course. I've got some excuses. My brakes were rubbing. I was coming off a big training week. I had a slow puncture. The course doesn't suit me. I haven't slept recently. I ate something that disagrees with me. I'm just resting for a big event. Work has been tough. I got shopped in a corner. The coach told me not to go too hard. I don't like crits. I'm overtrained. I'm undertrained. It's not my fault. I swear to God. Well, now that I got that out of my system, thankfully we've got some other race footage so we can see what actually happened. Big thanks to Ryan Fletcher for lending his footage and data. And those 3 guys who were off the front before are just about to finish lapping the field, which is just about as impressive an accomplishment you can have in this race, especially on this course. A fun fact about Ryan Fletcher is that it's actually illegal to ride your bike on the canal path without getting prior written consent from Ryan. Ryan owns the Erie Canal Path. And here he is with Jeremy and Corey completing their lap on the field. Super impressive work, guys. Well, here we are 1 lap later after they caught the field, and Jeremy is not satisfied merely being up by 1 lap, and he sets off again with a blistering attack up this rise into the headwind, and he is just flying into the distance. It looked like a few people had peeled off the front, and one of those guys is teammate Paul, and we'll switch over to his cam right now. So Jeremy makes it up to Paul, and the 2 of them pull clear from the rest of the field and just about put another lap on everybody. So you can see Jeremy's just motoring here, and Paul is doing an awesome job to hold his wheel because going up that hill with Jeremy time after time is draining. And these guys are just cruising along. Paul now clear of the field, got 4th place wrapped up. Jeremy's got the win. He's just got to hold on for about another 11K here. And the 2 of them are just flying. And finally, with about 7.5K to go, Jeremy just puts in a monster acceleration up the ramp again. He had one hell of a day, and he was so much better than everybody else. It was just mind-blowing. Really impressive to watch. And here he goes, after being off the front the entire race, putting a lap and a half into the field at this point. By the end of the race, he would have completed 2 full laps on the field, which is just an insane accomplishment. But there he goes, riding off into the distance. Paul's got some work left to hold on for 4th, but he is a super strong dude, and he would seal the deal. Well, here's the finish. Jeremy completing one of the most epic rides GTour has seen, maybe ever. There's Paul finishing 4th. Hell of a job. And here is the field sprint. Being up a lap, Ryan finished in 2nd, and Jan took the sprint for 5th. So what was probably the most disappointing day on the bike for me was also the most impressive victory I've ever seen in GTour. Congrats, Jeremy. Very well earned. And here you can see the updated standings with 16 weeks to go. Really tight at the top of the table. We've got Jan, Jeremy, and Dylan pulling away from the rest. Should be an exciting race for the rest of the season to see who's going to be the club champion. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Until next time, keep playing bikes. See ya.